All right, folks, welcome back. So, um, so this session, we're going to talk about what role does AI play in QA's world, right? So quality assurance, or quality analyst world, or quality analyst teams world, right? Or testing world. So how can we benefit out of it, right? It's lots of talking about AI, right? So Uh, what is AI? What does it do? How can I learn AI, or how can I integrate AI? Or like the question that we raised, right? So will AI eat up my job, right? Um, so this kind of thing is discussed everywhere, right? Everybody, the companies are jumping into AI, trying to integrate AI, and spending tons and tons of money into AI because it has advantage, right? So everybody wants to be upfront for future, right? So right? So if you don't change, somebody else will, somebody new will come, and you will be ancient, right? No, we have seen tons of examples of that, and no company who is looking for the future or who is looking to stay wants to do that. Or as an individual, if you want to stay, if you want to continue your career and continue growing, continue being relevant for project big or small, you definitely want to know about AI, right? Again, like I mentioned before as well, if you have not started, probably this is the right time to do so, right? Um, and in whatever way, right? Just start small, big, small steps, but make sure you start, right? Because things are rapidly changing, uh, and then it might be right outside your door, right? So if it's not already. Um, so right? So whoever is listening to this recordings, right? So quality assurance or quality analyst or testing or tester or quality process, whatever, right? So you probably already know, right? So in IT field, they're dealing with software, right? Software products, applications. So our job is to make sure that whatever quality that is discussed, decided, uh, um, that specific quality check is proper, that specific quality is maintained, obtained, or not, right? So we want to make sure that um, the applications that we are delivering has the utmost quality in it, right? Um, because for like we have discussed, if the quality is not there in an application, then you will lose your customer. You will end up with uh, unhappy customer, right? So either way, um, you are in the verge of um, losing that business, right? So the quality testing team is a very crucial team for any project, right? So big or small, right? So that's why we see the quality becomes a very critical um, aspect of any company, right? Any application, softwares, right? That's why we go for iPhone. That's why we go for though the product is expensive, right? We still go with that, right? So that's why we buy things in Amazon. That's why do we do Facebooking, right? So that's why we use Google for our search engine, right? The reason for that is quality. So with people understanding that, right? So if I don't find quality from one place, I'll search around. There is a very big fight on the background between companies, between um, um, whatever application they are providing. There's a big challenge for them to do advancement, right? So to rapidly change. And one of the areas they would they are changing into by integrating AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, right? ML, right? AI in the short form, AI, ML. With the use of AI, ML processes or tools that has AI and ML in their backbone, with the help of that, we can significantly improve uh, what we give it out for our application testing or for our customer, right? Which is efficiency, right? So we can be very efficient. Accuracy, right? So very accurate testing, very accurate testing outcome. Effectiveness, very effective testing, right? Whatever software tool that we are using, they can be more efficient, accurate, and effective. If they are, if the QA team is able to improve in that kind of area using the tools or making sure they are using those testing tools which is better in that area of efficiency, accuracy, and effectiveness, and which is having their AI and ML as a backbone, then those kind of team will be able to provide a best quality product. We will definitely be able to do lots of repetitive task, right? So lots of regression cycles, automate that, right? Automate with self-healing processes, automate with the process where it will be able to create execution report, right? Which is proper, having proper details, having properly by properly understanding the data, predicting the potential issues, not just testing, repeating the automated activity, also give us some predictions, right? So where there can be a problem, right? So where they might be, you might be able to find more potential issues, right? So defects. That data from that prediction can be handy for us so that we can target those areas for more rigorous testing, right? Improving overall testing process, right? Again, the overall process, right? So whatever the big or small activity that is needed for testing to happen, those processes can be improved as well. So overall, the couple of things that is called out here itself is very important stuff that is important for any quality check, right? So any quality testing. So how can we leverage, right? So how can QA leverage AI tools, right? There are a bunch of AI tools out there. Some of those are what we are going to call it out here and how it can be helpful. The first level of obviously, right, is test automation, right? So manual testing versus test automation, we already know the answer, right? We definitely want to enhance our automation. And if your project is already doing automation, right, so with the help of AI, that can be enhanced. Not just speeding it up, right? But also making it smarter, right? So the whole part of AI ML is to make things smarter, right? So faster, we were already automating before, so our testing was already faster. But now we want to make it more smarter, right? So what does that mean, right? So probably we want to automate based on the past data or based on the data that we got from past run, right? So traditional automation testing tests are often rule based, follow the predetermined path, right? So here is the issue, right? We create an automation test, but it will follow what we have coded, right? It will follow whatever we have determined. Whereas if the AI-driven tools, testing automation tools, comes into the picture, they can improve the learning from applications behavior, right? So they can adapt to changes, right? So things can change, right? So application might behave differently. So your AI tool can learn that, and with that learning, it can improve your automation testing, right? So those kind of AI tool is more better in automation. One example, self-healing tests, right? So AI-powered tools can automatically adjust broken tests due to UI or API changes, right? So if some changes happen, so instead of creating those scripts, the AI-powered tools can create kind of a self-healing process, right? So adjust to those changes, right? Um, right? So something fails, right? If the test case fails because of whatever, right? So the web pages changes or element changes, then the AI, your AI powered tool would be able to detect those changes, and according to that change, it can fix your script so that it can run, right? Um, so this kind of self-healing power. Um, Tools like test.ai can automatically adjust test scripts to align with UI changes without manual intervention, right? So there's already a tool, test.ai, which is able to do so, right? So if there's any changes and you're not aware about it, you already wrote your automation script with the help of with the help of tool like this, then it can adjust to it, right? It can align your scripts to it according to those changes without needing any manual intervention. So your job is already done. You created an automation script with the help of that AI power tool. It can manually or it can self heal and continue the testing process. Test case generation, right? So we have talked over and over again, and you have probably faced this issue and over again, right? So every big or small project, test case generation, right? So writing scripts is tedious task, right? It takes tons of time, right? It is done manually. And again, right? So if you're not expertise in writing test cases, then again, right? So the coverage part, right? So it might not be, coverage might not be enough. The test case might not be good, or it is not addressing the requirement, right? All those kind of things. Functionize, the application called Functionize is the AI-based test automation platform that helps create tests from the recorded session or based on the user interactions. So instead of typing the scripts, right? So typing it out, writing it out, now we have tools. Some of the tools, one is called out here, Functionize, which can create the test from the recorded session. So the record the session is create the scripts for you based on your interactions. That's how you interact with the application. It creates the scripts, right? It creates the scripts for you instead of you generating it manually, right? Again, plus point for us. Predictive analytics for test coverage. Um, like we mentioned earlier, test coverage becomes the area of risk without AI, right? Or without some kind of automation tool. Um, Now, how AI can help in this process, right? So how to analyze the test coverage and how to predict the areas uh, where there's a potential chance of failure or where there's a potential chance of gaps. So AI kind of tool can analyze for those risk areas from the historical data. Like we mentioned, right? AI is very good at learning, reading, or analyzing the big data, right? So the historical data and creating some patterns out of it, right? From that pattern, they can analyze that pattern as well and find which areas might need more focus, right? Might need more attention because that areas is where we can miss, or that areas is where there is more defects. So we can um, allocate our effort, focus into that area more, right? So that we can become effective. So not just creating test case, not just running the scripts, not just auto healing, but also creating some data from the historical data analysis and allowing us to focus on those areas more. So prediction of risk, right? So can analyze bug data from previous software versions, identify patterns to predict which parts of the software are likely to have issues, right? So where more problem can happen or where we had a lot of problem before, right? So that we can focus on that, right? Uh, TestIM.io uses machine learning to predict the risk of failure and prioritize which tests to execute based on past behavior and data. So TestIM.io AI tool already for testing folks out there, which helps to predict the risk area for us, so that we can prioritize our test execution based on that past behavior, right? So optimal test coverage. So the gap or the problem where our test coverage is not effective enough is kind of covered with this analytical process of creating predictive data, the data from the historical data analysis, and giving us the gap zones, or giving us the problem areas, or risk areas, so that we can plan accordingly and optimize our test coverage to make sure that those areas are covered. Which obviously is going to make our test coverage better, right? Which can handle the complexity that we have, right? And the areas that gets overlooked, those can be prevented, those can be identified, and those can be covered. Number three, visual testing and image recognition, right? Again, right? So visual testing and image recognition, kind of without AI tool, it might be more on a manual testing activity, right? Uh, Now, again, right? So involvement of human, right? So more dependent on human, more chance of error, like we have called out multiple times. So to avoid or to decrease the issues of those kind of um, traditional way of testing, visual regression testing, right? So with the help of AI, the image recognition visual testing can be enhanced, right? So those tools has more capable, or they have more better capability of um, interacting with those images and the pictures in terms of testing, right? So pixel by pixel change to detect the visual discrepancies, right? So how to identify the differences than what is in our requirement. So the AI can help identify visual issues or bugs caused by UI changes that might not be detected by traditional automated testing tools, right? So the traditional automated testing tools is only dependent on did it happen or not, right? So those kind of stuff. But if the UI are changing, right? The UI is there, but kind of changed, kind of slightly different than what's supposed to be. Those kind of capturing those kind of thing is much difficult or is not done by the traditional automation testing tools. So there's an example, Apply Tools used AI-driven. Yeah, the example, Apply Tools uses that AI-driven visual testing to compare images and automatically detect visual differences between versions of an application, ensuring UI looks consistent across different devices and screen sizes, right? Again, not easy. Yeah, it's not done traditionally with automated testing tools, but the Apply Tools, kind of AI-driven tools, allows us to do so, right? So that we can test those images as well, right? Comparing and contrasting different versions of applications and different devices and screen sizes. Another important testing is this cross-browser testing, where also the traditional tool kind of gets limited to, whereas the AI tools can allow us to um, achieve the better level of multiple browsers or cross-browser testing and cross-platform testing much easier, much easily and more in a consistent fashion, so that our applications are performing consistently in all those platforms that is decided. Intelligent bug detection. So, all right, so identifying the bugs becomes a critical task of the quality analyst. And like we have mentioned before, right, not an easy task, not easy to find problem. At the same time, sometimes also, right, we might be able to find the problem, but kind of having difficulty analyzing the logs to identify the root cause of it, right? Or the reason for it. So so not just depending upon the human to identify the problems. The AI tools can also assist in automatically identifying the potential defect in code, right? So even for the developer itself, right? So the problem in the code, right? Again, that leads to problem in the application. So helping to analyze source code, logs, test results, right? Is the code is proper or not? Whatever log that is generated is everything good there or not, and whatever test result that we are getting, are those test results proper or not, right? So analyzing all these three can, if when done by the AI tool, then what else do you need, right? So we would be able to cross-check the code early. Whatever logs that is getting generated with the AI tool can analyze those and give you some pattern or give you some more better insights faster. AI tool can go through your test results and give you a better output, right? Or give you more or better data about the outcome of it. So that this tool can flag the anomalies, right? Providing tester and developers with insight into potential issues before they cause failures. So if it gets flagged early, right, faster, then we would be able to catch it before it happens, right? So that we can fix it. We can report it. We can fix it. Automated defect detection, right? So AI tools use machine learning algorithm to analyze software logs, error messages to identify pattern or recurring issues, improving the accuracy and speed of bug detection, right? Identifying the bug, not just identifying bug, identifying defects or bugs consistently, faster, right? More accurately, so that we don't have to go back and forth. Is it a defect? Is it a defect? Right? That kind of discussion. And also, what is the possible cause of it? Right? So those kind of areas where we lose tons of time, those can be minimized significantly with the help of this kind of AI powered tool. For example, deep code. It's an AI-powered code review tool that automatically detects bugs and vulnerabilities in code by analyzing it using machine learning algorithms. So it will go through your code, right? Analyze it, detect if there's any gaps, and if there's any problem. It can find um, and then give you the analysis of it as well, right? Log analysis tool, right? There's a log analysis tool as well, which can help us to analyze the system logs, which can be a big output, right? Or test logs, which can also be a big output, and give you the the error patterns that it found, so that it becomes easier to identify, or is easier to diagnose what's exactly the problem, so that the fix can be faster, right? So intelligent bug detection, right? Uh, Natural language processing, NLP, for test documentation, right? Again, documentation is a bigger headache for any QA, right? So you ask yourself, you ask me, you ask anybody who's working as a QA, right? So a documentation, though we try to simplify as much, but still it becomes a hectic activity, right? So automated creation. Now, if we can use our NLP, natural language processing capability, it can automate that document creation process, or document management process, so that once a time-consuming task, once a hectic task, can be not a headache anymore, right? It's not my headache anymore. It's the AI's headache. So that the AI can understand the human language, generate meaningful test cases, bug reports, and summaries, right? So whatever you need, right, it creates it for you. You just give your prompt for whatever is your need, and that tool is able to give you the output. All right, it's a proper output, even probably better than yours, so that you can focus on something else. So test case generation from requirement, right? So AI tools can automatically generate test cases by analyzing the product requirement, right? So it can understand the requirement, it can break it down with that natural language processing, and it's able to transform from its analysis of that requirement into the scripts, right? So test case generation, which eliminates your manual work of translating that requirement in test case, which is a very specific task, that manual activity that a QA spends time on, that can be taken up. So test.ai, which can read and understand requirement or documents and generate appropriate test scripts or cases significantly. Again, don't take me wrong, right? I said, is it 100%? It might not be, right? And your experience, your expertise comes into the picture, right? So something might miss, or something comes in your head, you can add that up. But good chunk of work is simplified for you. Automatic bug report generation, right? So again, you run this, your automation scripts ran, it will generate, right? So the AI power tool will generate the detailed report, right? For your reporting purpose as well, right? So for whatever you detected during the test, so it becomes much easier to understand, right? It will have all the information that developer might be looking for, because that's how it was designed, to capture all that information. Okay. So better test case generation from the requirement, so the requirement is covered properly, and automated bug report generation process, right? So reporting process, so that obviously it catches more reports automatically, and gives the analysis of what might be the possible cause, then much easier to fix it, right? Faster. Number 6, the AI in performance testing. So performance testing is a very critical areas where we do spend tons of time. So performance needs to be improved, right? If the performance, one second, I'm recording this session. So yeah, performance testing is a very important testing, obviously, right? to identify where the slowness is happening, right? So where application is taking longer time to respond. Um, um, so that kind of testing definitely needs tons of data analysis, right? So we do use tools for performance testing, right? So um, um, and we might be able to simulate those kind of performance testing um, to test the production like environment, right? Production kind of situations. But at the same time, the automated load testing, if not AI powered, um, um, might do the testing activity, but analyzing the output of it becomes again, right? So the manual effort, right? And then again, right? So time consumption and all that. So we want to make sure that the bottlenecks are identified. We want to make sure that uh, whatever reports are generated with those automated testing, those reports are automatically generated, right? And then those reports are properly analyzed to give us more detailed insights in that performance testing that was done, right? So to identify the application's performance. So example of one of the tool that is in that performance testing world is LoadNinja, which uses that AI-driven technique to simulate the real-world traffic patterns for load testing, offering detailed insights into the application's performance, right? So AI-powered again, right? You can simulate the real-world kind of scenario, and so that it gives more insights into your application performance by giving you detailed reports and properly analyzed reports. Performance optimization. AI can predict system load bottlenecks, memory issues, and other performance-related issues that can impact application stability under heavy user traffic. Uh, comes the CI/CD, right? So continuous integration and continuous testing, right? Again, this is nothing new. CI/CD process, CI/CD pipelines is there for automated testing. We have been doing it, right? For automated testing for every stage, every software processes, right? So every cycle. So what gets changed with AI integrated into that process is it ensures the tests are automatically run when new code is integrated or changes are made, ensuring early detection of defects. So again, right, so here the optimization of the process, right? The process is there, but the AI driven tool can optimize it more, right? So it will optimize the continuous testing process. Um, um, uh, So based on like we have mentioned before, right? So based on the past execution data, right? So the continuous testing will be optimized with the data that it got from past run or historical data, so that it's not just continuous integration or testing that we used to have with before. It becomes more optimized with the ability to read the past run data, right? So to analyze the past run data and then adjusting according to it, right? So making sure the testing is more and more efficient, right? So more and more better. So the tool in that example is Tricentis Tusk. All right, so Tricentis Tusk integrates the CI/CD pipeline to automatically select the relevant tests and run them in real time based on the code changes. Adaptive test execution, like I mentioned, right? So it will adjust dynamically based on the past behavior, as historical data, and making tests more effective and adaptive, right? So lots of companies are using Tosca tool now for their automation testing because of its integration with CI/CD process, and now with the AI power into it. To make it even better by with the ability to optimize chatbots, right? So who does not know about chatbots? So AI-powered chatbots are increasingly being used to assist in test management task, right? So again, chatbots where we make our customer interaction better. Now we can also use that chatbots in our test management, right? Which can help us to manage our testing workflows, track defects, generate reports, and even answer some common testing related queries, right? So again, assisting you um, in every shape and form, right? In multiple different ways, right? It's a very helpful, can be very helpful tool for QA team member to make their work much easier. Like I'd say probably if you're using Jira, right? So they have integrated that AI chatbots into it so that you can you can get the assistant in multiple different work that you do, right? Uh, whenever needed, right? So query handling chatbot can respond to routine queries regarding the testing process, reducing the manual input per search for information, right? So um, very can be very helpful for a regular activity. Either that is for managing your test cases or defects or tracking your progress or project progress or some getting some real-time insights. AI for manual testing assistance, right? Manual testing, again, manual testing, there are tons of activities that is manually done. AI tools can help by providing insights, recommendations, and automating repeated tasks such as data entry, logging issues, right? So those kind of things. Lots of activities that is done manually, those can be automated with the help of AI, right? So working on the side of testing individual as an assistant, right? So make sure you understand AI as a helping tool other than tool that takes up your job, right? So smart. Uh, so you want to keep that in smartness in your pocket. Smart test execution assistance, right? So it can provide tester with test execution suggestions on patterns, past behavior, like we have mentioned before, right? So if you understand the past behavior, right, so we might be able to prioritize where to focus more, right? So that we can put our manual testing effort there in those high risk areas, and then rest can be automated probably, right? So rest of the activity like a reporting mechanism can be automated, right? So that it automatically generates a report, so that it automatically analyzes the reports and gives us the analyzed data for us for easy understanding or fast understanding, so that we can quickly take action on it. Number 10, AI-based test analytics, right? So again, we just mentioned, right? The analytic part, analyzing the data, right? So the testing data, such as the result or reports or performance metrics, right? Or overall quality of the product and their effectiveness, right? So all that data can be analyzed with the AI-based tool as well, so that we can have more predictive more better um, information out there, so that it gives us some predictability, right? So it gives some predictive analytic data, right? So that it helps us to become or perform better, right? Or it helps us to analyze uh, what can happen, right, in the future, so that we can address that, or we can adjust for that predictive data to address those kind of gaps. So defect prediction, right? So AI can identify patterns in the past defects, and predict where future defects might arise, right? So again, very important information here. By understanding the past defect, it might be able to give us some prediction for future defects, so that your team can proactively focus on those areas. Let's put more efforts on those areas, so that those kind of gaps can be covered, and those kind of areas where more defects can be overlooked, and leaking down into the production can be prevented. Test effectiveness analysis, right? So the AI can analyze how effective different tests are at detecting defects and help prioritize tests that most likely to uncover the issues, right? So the making our testing effective, making our test case effective, right? So we need to have the analysis of that as well. Again, at the end of the day, right? So we want to prioritize, right? So we cannot do everything probably. We want to target more the areas where where it becomes more risky. So this kind of information, right? So the AI powered tool, right? So AI based analytic tool, AI based testing tool, automated tool, our management tool can be very, very helpful for the test QA analyst for day-to-day activity, so that you can focus on the overall package of your activity, minimize your manual activity, manual effort, and maximizing your effectiveness and efficiency, so that your testing becomes more predictive. Your outcome becomes more credible, right? And your report becomes more analyzed, right? So that it gives us a better, bigger picture of our QA testing activity that is performed for any application, big or small. So at the end, saving time, reducing effort, improving test coverage, reduce risk, optimize testing, data-driven decisions, right? So these are the overall information that we want to keep in our mind. So at the end again, right? So if you have not started AI learning, start the learning process, get into it, right? So try to understand more and try to bring it back home, saying that how AI can help me, right? So the tools are there already, processes are there already, the multiple discussions are happening all around. Your companies is going into that direction already. You just want to catch that train, don't miss it, and keep running forward. Okay, so that's about it for AI, right? So role of AI in QA. I hope you guys understood, or I hope you guys have a better understanding now. Do provide feedback to me about how it went and how or which AI tool are you currently using for your testing activity on the comments. Thanks all. Enjoy testing. Bye.